a gravity model integrating high-speed rail and seismic hazard mitigation through land use planning, application to California development, authored by Chik-Hao Wang, Na Chen, Chi-Liang Cheng. Resilience, sustainability, and land use were the focal points of this research. The seismic hazards of California have created great risks for the region due to the high probability of seismic activity and with the dense population within cities. The state of California has a great need to address the seismic threats to major cities such as Los Angeles and San Francisco. Sustainability has been a focal point for policymakers and emergency managers for decades. In fact, California has legislated the State Planning Act of 1971, which incorporates seismic mitigation in comprehensive land use plans. The article stated, quote, "Under the trend of global environmental change, vulnerability or resilience has been the focus of local natural disaster management. In spite of this focus, regional planning for the state of California was also cited as having major weaknesses." This article discussed how high-speed rail systems can mitigate or exacerbate seismic challenges. It also discussed economic effects from having a high-speed rail system. It also determined how available land use could be utilized in remote cities away from more densely populated cities under seismic threats. And finally, it evaluates the mitigation value of a high-speed rail system in the state of California. According to this article, a high-speed rail system has these 5 characteristics. 1. It is a daily operating system. 2. It operates at speeds of 150 miles per hour or more. 3. It aims to improve intercity networks. 4. It reduces travel time between cities. And 5. It is more cost efficient than aviation. TELUM, which is an interactive software, stands for Transportation Economic Land Use Model. It is used to understand effects of high-speed rail systems and seismic mitigation on the allocation of future development over a 6 5-year incremental plan. Many cities around the world have already implemented a high-speed rail system, such as Japan, France, Germany, Taiwan, China, and South Korea. Applied to a number of cities worldwide, TELUM focuses on transportation networks, changes, and resulting economic activities using spatial data and analytical methodology. The specified focal points and considerations from this case study were separated into parts. For the state of California and evaluating high-speed rail systems, it evaluated the natural growth process with and without high-speed rail systems, the impact of high-speed rail systems on the state level, and the impact of seismic hazard mitigation. When it comes to land use considerations, they separated the research by residential, commercial, industrial, streets, vacant lands, unusable lands, when it pertains to weighing the benefits and cost effectiveness for the state. The relevancy behind these considerations are important because impacts shape the future of California and provides technical and policy insights for seismic resiliency. And these considerations are necessary to evaluate what mitigation effects a high-speed rail system would have on affected cities, which would receive an influx of commerce, resident, and transportation activity in cities that may have not experienced that in the past. These considerations are also relevant due to the new issues stemming from land consumption and land availability. Cities, which have not had experience with high levels of visitation or inhabitants, have to evaluate whether their cities have sufficient land to accommodate new economic activity. Some cities identified could gain economically from an HSR, but have a shortage of land to offer mitigation opportunities. Spatial pattern of land uses, a physical result of economic development and policy implementation, has been increasingly recognized as an important factor to help adapt and mitigate natural disasters, this article quotes. Peripheralization addresses the spatial disparity between cities. According to the Telem analyses, some cities will be adversely affected by the influx of activity, which poses the question if one city's mitigation is worth another city's headache. Urbanization with effective land use planning can offer sustainability of economic commerce at the state level and resilience by way of having pre-equipped alternative cities to evacuate and to continue business in times of a crisis is another. Telem identifies areas where high-speed rail systems would not be advantageous due to the politicization of land use codes. In areas where high-speed rail system destinations are also in hazard areas, and high-speed rail system would then exacerbate the mitigation effort. Because many California cities are located on the Pacific Rim of Fire, Telum identifies which cities should be avoided, justified by avoidance theory. With stringent and highly enforced building codes, seismic mitigation plans with zero development policy can improve urban resilience. Los Angeles and San Francisco are highly valuable cities, both culturally and economically. Would it then be feasible to create magnet cities in other areas connected by high-speed rail systems to reduce the amount of people operating in high-risk areas? So my questions are, should major cities with increased threats be relocated to other cities as a magnet city to the original city? The other question is, if policy encourages the relocation of commerce to other cities made accessible by high-speed rail systems, would the economic loss of one city justify the gain of another city within the same state? This concludes my presentation. I thank you for your time.